just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Ball at the 23, 2nd and 8. Pickett now to throw off the play fake. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Throwing on 3rd down. Here's Pickett. He's going to let this one go deep. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. That's pulled in at the 32. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10.
Here we go.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And one of the things we like to hit on every year are the new rule changes. And we got a few for 2023. A lot of procedure. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
Now Pickett. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. Back to throw. Pickett. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. He's able to get 6. A nice pickup down to the 21.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 21, here's a 2nd and 4. Now Pickett changing the play. 2nd and 4. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. A chance for their first points of the season here as it's 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A big play if you think about it right now in this season opener. It's 3rd and goal. Working out of the gun, it's Pickett. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Rosas' kick is good. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that, and this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
On one, ready?
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And he will take it across midfield and down to the 45. So they tried to take the deep shot there, but this defense up to the task.
And a lot of times when you air a ball out like this, if it does get intercepted, there's going to be a lot of space out there to set up a return. And remember, you've got 5 big offensive linemen out there playing on their feet in open space. Not a skill most of them possess that allows for extra yardage on the return.
Off play action. Pickett. A short one there, caught by Likely. 2 yards, good enough for a first. Here's Pickett. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be second down. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Now Pickett. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. A chance for a first touchdown drive of the year. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3 our score. Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal. From the gun, here's Pickett. And he pulls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Isaiah Likely from 8 yards out, and the Bucs have taken the lead. Rosas good with the extra point, and the lead is now 10-7. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. This taken in at the goal line. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15.
Gun.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team.
Here we go.
I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something
Heads up.
to make it pass, and that's
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Anthony Averett picks it, and he will take this down to the 10-yard line. So a big chunk of yardage will be marked off there for that PI call.
And now you know why receivers
On one,
and the
ready?
guys throwing the ball, they like to collaborate
go,
and just
gotta
heave it
go.
up sometimes because you can get these types of calls that go against the defense. Pass interference, and they gain over 30 yards of real estate on that one.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw here taken in as he's able to find Goddard. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
3rd and 2, now Burrow. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. 4th down, and on is Ty Long to punt. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Hands it off out of the gun, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Taken at the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
On 2.
Second half starts with a run by Hall. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. Touchdown, Vikings! A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Vikings have retaken a 3rd quarter lead. Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead is now 14-10. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Pickett lost it. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they're going to get the football just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that 6th sense, doesn't it?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. Didn't happen in this case.
Here we go.
Now 2nd and 5. Snap will come from the 6.
Here we go.
Now it's Burrow. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation.
Here we go.
You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Elijah Moore from 6 yards away. And the Vikings take the forced fumble and convert it into 6 points. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes it a 21-10 game. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot here, CD. You're trailing by double digits. Remember the last time out, they fumbled. They're going to have to play some clean football here on this possession.
And all the talk on their sideline has been about taking care of the football, making sure that they're handling the ball correctly. So you know they'll be squeezing the rock pretty tight here. They just have to be careful not to go so hard in doing that they actually cause themselves other problems. Take care of the ball, but still try and play free and natural.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Let's go.
Pickett back to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Jadeveon Clowney coming in for that outside linebacker spot, and he buries him for a loss of 7. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Taking it about the 36. 43 yards on the punt, return of 4, and the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10.
On 1, ready?
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up. And
now ball going to be intercepted yet again. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Buccaneers are going to take possession here at their own 33. 1st and 10, here's Pickett. And he can't escape, and down he goes. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. Here's Pickett on 2nd down. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him once again. That's 2 sacks for him now here on opening day. Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Fielded at the 43. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
11 empty.
So now,
11
Charles,
empty.
this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Now this throw caught left side, and he's brought down. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10. And a quick throw here, that's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Here we go. Here we go.
And they go play action now. Burrow. His throw incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch it. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
He's got his target. That's complete. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Well, they only needed a small gain on third down. They end up getting over 30 yards. Again, it's Burrow. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. Making quite a splash with his second touchdown in his NFL debut. And the Vikings are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their fourth quarter lead. Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead is up to 18 now. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. No run back here for Jones, a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this fourth quarter. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. And they'll run on the inside handoff. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. The Bucs on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Pickett, he'll look to throw it. They're looking for Godwin, but it's intercepted. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Well, CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. 23 yards the pickup there. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Play action. It's Burrow. That's to the pylon and incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Here we go.
2nd and 10. And Burrow going to throw again. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it,
11.
It helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Burrow on play action. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Anthony Averett picks it. And the Bucs are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests. But in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
But it's intercepted. They got Pickett for the 3rd time in this game. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And this will be caught by his big wide receiver. Touchdown! great effort there. Now with his third touchdown in his first ever NFL game. And the Vikings are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Butker now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this is really the start to the season that you're hoping for if you're a coach or a player. They've got the big lead here in the 4th quarter. And now can really take some time off the clock. 23 yards on the play. Well, they have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start. And pass plays like we just saw, they're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the 4th quarter.
And that they have in every way. And plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one.
Here we go.
And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. And this will be incomplete. Boy, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach. And maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up. But he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Well, CD, always a little extra excitement for Week 1, and one of our early window games here in Week 1 on a Sunday comes to a close. Good to be back in the booth with you, my friend.
And it's good to be back in the booth with you as well. And we know that not everyone's going to start the season 1-0, right? Half the league is going to have a loss on their record, but everyone's going to have to build off of that opener. And how many coaches tell us every single year, you make your most progress between Week 1 and Week 2. We'll see how both of these teams progress the rest of this season.
So for Minnesota, that'll be a happy locker room as they start this season 1-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.